So the NFL released this rule a couple days ago that if a game cannot be rescheduled during this 2021 season due to a COVID outbreak, then the team that caused the outbreak will be forced to forfeit that game if the players that started the outbreak are unvaccinated. So this comes on the heels of about a month ago, the NFL released some other rules about it. Players that are vaccinated are not scheduled for regular COVID tests. They don't have to wear a mask in the facility. There's no travel restrictions on those players. So the NFL right now, they're not making it mandatory to get vaccinated, but they're making life much better for the players that are vaccinated, and life will be a lot more normal for the guys that are vaccinated. So last year, of course, we saw numerous games pushed back to Monday, Tuesday. There was like one on Wednesday. I think it was a Ravens game. I forget. It might have been a Ravens-Steelers game. But if I had to guess, the NFL hopefully won't face this problem this year. I hope that things are more under control. But there now is a concern that there's this new variant of COVID. I'm not really up to date on this stuff, honestly. My parents told me about it. But I guess things could get worse as the weather gets, colder once again. We'll find out what happens in the winter. But I hope that with a season under their belt of dealing with this, the NFL will be able to handle this situation much better. But I do give the NFL credit for at least releasing this now as compared to like during the middle of the season, kind of like where the MLB screwed up because the MLB said in the middle of the season, you guys can't use any spider tack or sticky stuff. And, some guys may have got injured because of it. Tyler Glass now thinks that's why he got hurt. But anyway, I give them some credit for that. And, it's kind of like being the fantasy football commissioner in your league. Like you come out with rules before the actual season starts because you don't want to run into anything that goes on during the season. Some people are colluding and some other crap may happen. So you want to get this out before the season starts. So I commend the NFL on that part at least. And some players took exception to this new rule. DeAndre Hopkins was the headliner the other day, saying that he might question his future in the NFL because of this. Then he came out a couple years later and says he's playing, so don't worry about that. But Leonard Fournette, Bills guard Jonathan Feliciano, Matthew Judon, and probably some other people. So, of course, Cole Beasley was a headliner a couple weeks ago. He's, saying a lot of stuff. But yeah, Fournette said, vaccine, I can't do it. DeAndre Hopkins says, never thought I would say this, but being put in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in a vaccine is making me question my future in the NFL. And then Matthew Judon just blatantly says, the NFLPA effing sucks. I'm not going to say that. But yeah, so obviously not everyone's on board here. I'm doing this on a Friday, but I'm probably going to read this tomorrow. But yesterday, a Vikings coach, his name is Rick Dennison. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. He quit his job because of this rule. Like there are people that hate this rule so much that they're like willing to walk away from their job that probably pays them pretty handsomely and just walking away from an NFL job because of this vaccination. So some people are definitely not on board with this. And I don't want this to get political. There's a reason I talk sports and not politics. I really can care less about politics, but I know for some reason when you're talking about vaccinations and vaccines, for some reason it gets political. But I just want to say I understand both sides. Like the side that's against it is saying, look, I'm a grown man. I don't have to, I can make my own decisions. I'm not getting a vaccine, and they can say that stuff. And, they want to see how it plays out first because, the vaccine was released somewhat recently and no one really knows the long-term effects and all that. I get all that. But then you have people that are for the vaccine saying that, hey, there's no downside. Don't cost us any losses, please, because you want to be selfish. I get both sides of it. It's like there's a lot of gray area with this type of stuff. So, and that's just the way the world is now. Like I have some people, my brother's friends are around 19, 20 years old. They're at college, universities, and they have to get vaccinated. Some of them to go back to class and stay on campus, go back to school. Of course, the NFL now is making the rules much, much better for people that are vaccinated. So that's kind of just the way the world is right now, and we have to deal with it. So my sports update on Twitter said NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sills said on a conference call that 80% of players have had at least one COVID-19 vaccination shot. 9 teams have 90% of players vaccinated. Only 5 teams are under 70%. So majority, over 50% of teams and players are pretty much vaccinated. So like hopefully this is not too much of a problem. You don't want to run into a thing where games are canceled and like you have to point at one guy because he lost you the game. Like I understand losing a game because you dropped the ball or you threw a game-losing interception. I mean, Evan Engram lost us a game last year for the Giants. But there are times where you make a actual mental error on the field, and sometimes it's an ability error where you just don't catch the ball or something. But this is one where if you cost your team a victory, you may have other guys in the locker room look at you like you're selfish because you didn't want to get that vaccination back in the offseason. So this may cause some turmoil, and right now we're seeing it with the Buffalo Bills. Cole Beasley, their wide receiver, of course, is kind of going back and forth with Jerry Hughes at the end on the Buffalo Bills about their views on the vaccination and stuff. I'm not saying they hate each other or anything like that, but they are going back and forth. It's a adult, mature conversation so far from what I've seen, but still there are some disagreements on this, so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes in the next couple of days and weeks and how this really impacts the NFL season. And as we sit here today on July 23rd, it is for me, I mean, we see some guys still going on the COVID reserve list. I saw Kadarius Toney, the Giants' first-round pick, went on it yesterday. C.J. Henderson, the first-round pick last year of the Jacksonville Jaguars, just went on it. So there are still guys, as training camp is opening here, that are going to have to miss the beginning of training camp because they're on the COVID reserve. So it's not what you want. I'm sure these coaches, Joe Judge, Urban Meyer, they want their first-round picks there, obviously. They don't want these guys to sit out because of COVID and all that. So once again, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the right answer is. There's definitely both sides to it. I think both sides have valid arguments, of course, so we'll find out, but hopefully we don't have to miss any games. Like, I hope this is one of those things where we look back on it and say, that was a funny time, whatever, but hopefully we don't have to see a team actually forfeit because of this, because that would be very crappy. I can't imagine as a football fan, you get 17 games, usually 16, but now 17 games. They're all very precious. If you miss one of them and you lose one of them because of one guy, it's going to hurt. Like, if the Giants lost a game because one guy wasn't vaccinated, I'm going to be freaking pissed. So I can't imagine that as a fan, like, how that would feel. But once again, hopefully we don't have to find out how that actually will feel like, because I hope we don't have to face that. So we'll find out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments, should these players all get vaccinated? Should it be more of a pro-choice thing? Let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time.